Have you ever wondered why, after embarking on your spiritual journey, some people seem to drift away from you? They no longer invite you to gatherings, their calls become infrequent, and you're left standing in the quiet, pondering what went wrong. Could it be that your spiritual awakening, which promised peace and enlightenment, has brought about a darkness no one ever warned you about? Spiritual awakening is often painted in bright colors: a journey to inner peace, a connection with the divine, a path to enlightenment. But like a coin, it has another side, a side not spoken about in the glowing narratives. It's the side where loneliness sets in, where people misunderstand your silence, and where the world that once embraced you now turns its back. This journey you've embarked on is not just about light. It's about confronting the shadows within and around you. In Zen Buddhism, there is a deep understanding that with growth comes the shedding of old skins, and sometimes that shedding is painful. This script will uncover the dark side effects of spiritual awakening that no one talks about, the ones that leave you questioning if you're truly on the right path. But don't be disheartened. Understanding these side effects can help you navigate them, turning them from obstacles into stepping stones. Let's dive into the first 3 hidden challenges of spiritual awakening that could be the reason why they ignore you. 1. Isolation. As you step further into your spiritual awakening, you may start to feel a growing distance between yourself and the people you once held dear. It's as if the conversations that once flowed so naturally now feel forced or empty. Your interests have shifted, and the activities that once brought you joy may no longer resonate with you. This change can be disorienting, not just for you, but for those around you as well. They may struggle to understand the new you, and as a result, the once warm connections may start to cool. This isolation isn't just physical, it's emotional and spiritual. You might find yourself spending more time alone, not out of choice, but because you feel misunderstood. The world that once felt so familiar now seems foreign. But here's the thing. This isolation isn't a punishment or a sign that you're on the wrong path. In Zen Buddhism, it's believed that true enlightenment often requires a period of withdrawal from the world. It's in these moments of solitude that you confront the deepest parts of yourself, shedding old layers and emerging stronger. Yet, this process is not without pain. The loneliness can be crushing, especially when it feels like no one else understands what you're going through. But remember, this is a necessary step in your spiritual growth. The isolation forces you to look inward, to find strength and companionship within yourself. Over time, this solitude can become a source of peace rather than pain, a time to cultivate your inner world and prepare yourself for the challenges ahead. 2. Misunderstanding. As your spiritual journey progresses, you may notice that your approach to communication changes. Where once you might have engaged in idle chatter, now you find yourself drawn to silence. This isn't because you have nothing to say, but because you've learned the value of words. Zen Buddhism teaches that words should be used with intention, and often, the most profound insights are found in silence. However, this shift can be jarring to those who know you. They may interpret your silence as a withdrawal, a sign that you're no longer interested in their company. In a world where constant communication is expected, your silence might be perceived as arrogance or even hostility. Friends might begin to distance themselves, not because they don't care, but because they don't understand this new aspect of you. This misunderstanding can lead to feelings of rejection and loneliness. You might start to question whether your spiritual journey is worth the loss of these connections. But it's important to remember that this is part of the process. Not everyone will understand your path, and that's okay. What's crucial is that you remain true to yourself, even if it means that some relationships may fade away. Over time, you'll find that the connections you do maintain are deeper and more meaningful, built on a shared understanding of the value of silence and reflection. On the flip side, this silence also opens the door to new relationships, ones that are aligned with your new way of being. As you embrace your quietude, you'll attract others who appreciate the depth and presence that comes with it. These relationships, though fewer, will be richer and more fulfilling, offering the kind of support and understanding that can only come from a shared spiritual journey. 3. Sensitivity. With spiritual awakening comes a heightened awareness, a sensitivity to the energies and emotions around you. This new level of perception can be both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, you're able to connect more deeply with the world, sensing the undercurrents of emotion and energy that others might miss. On the other hand, this sensitivity can be overwhelming, making everyday interactions more challenging. Imagine walking into a room and immediately feeling the tension. Even if no one is speaking, you might pick up on the unspoken thoughts and feelings of those around you, sensing their anxiety, fear, or sadness. This heightened awareness can make social situations exhausting, as you're constantly processing not just your own emotions, but the emotions of others as well. In Zen, this sensitivity is seen as a gift, a sign that you're becoming more attuned to the world around you. But it also means that you need to be more mindful of where you go and who you spend time with. Crowded places, loud noises, and chaotic environments can feel overwhelming, draining your energy and leaving you feeling depleted. People who don't understand this sensitivity might think you're being antisocial or distant. They might not realize that you're simply trying to protect yourself from being overwhelmed. This can lead to feelings of isolation as you pull back from situations that once felt comfortable. However, this sensitivity also allows you to connect more deeply with those who are on a similar path. You'll find that you're drawn to quieter, more peaceful environments where you can recharge and find solace. This might mean that your social circle becomes smaller, but it will also become more aligned with your true self. The connections you do make will be deeper and more meaningful, built on a shared understanding of the world's subtleties. 4. Disillusionment. As you journey deeper into your spiritual awakening, you may begin to see the world differently. The beliefs and values you once held dear start to crumble as you realize they were built on illusions. This disillusionment can be a painful process, like watching a house you've lived in your whole life collapse in front of your eyes. This collapse isn't just intellectual, it's emotional and spiritual. You start to question everything: your purpose, your relationships, and even your sense of self. The certainty you once had is replaced by doubt, and this can be deeply unsettling. But in Zen Buddhism, this disillusionment is seen as a necessary step toward enlightenment. To reach the truth, you must first strip away the falsehoods. However, this process can make you feel disconnected from the world around you. The people in your life might not understand why you're questioning things that seem so fundamental to them. They may see your disillusionment as negativity or cynicism, when in reality, it's a sign of your growth. This can lead to feelings of alienation, as your evolving perspective creates a gap between you and others. Yet, this disillusionment is also a gateway to deeper understanding. As you let go of old beliefs, you make space for new insights to emerge. This can lead to a profound sense of freedom, as you're no longer bound by the limitations of your previous worldview. But it's important to navigate this phase with care. Allow yourself the time to grieve the loss of your old beliefs, but also remain open to the new possibilities that are unfolding. 5. Rejection. One of the most challenging aspects of spiritual awakening is the fear of rejection. As you grow and change, you might worry that those around you will no longer accept you. This fear can be paralyzing, making you question whether you should continue on your path or stay where you are to keep your relationships intact. In Zen, the concept of non-attachment teaches that we must let go of our need for external validation. This is easier said than done, especially when the people we care about are involved. The fear of rejection can cause you to hide parts of yourself, to downplay your spiritual experiences so that you don't alienate others. But this comes at a cost. It prevents you from fully embracing your true self. The reality is that not everyone will understand or accept your spiritual journey. Some people may distance themselves, not out of malice, but because they're uncomfortable with the changes they see in you. This rejection can be painful, but it's also a sign that you're outgrowing old patterns and relationships that no longer serve you. It's important to remember that rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It's a natural part of the growth process. As you continue on your path, you'll attract new relationships that align with your true self, relationships that are built on mutual respect and understanding. Embracing this truth can help you let go of the fear of rejection and move forward with confidence. 6. Overwhelm. Spiritual awakening often brings with it an expanded awareness, a sense that you're seeing the world more clearly than ever before. While this can be exhilarating, it can also be overwhelming. The sheer volume of information, emotions, and insights can feel like too much to handle at times. In Zen, this overwhelm is seen as a natural part of the process. As your awareness expands, so does your responsibility to manage and integrate what you're experiencing. But this can be exhausting, especially when it feels like you're constantly processing new insights. You might find yourself needing more time alone to recharge, or struggling to keep up with the demands of daily life. This overwhelm can also manifest physically, with symptoms like fatigue, headaches, or a sense of being drained. It's as if your mind and body are working overtime to keep up with the changes. People around you might not understand why you're suddenly so tired, or why you need more rest, and this can lead to frustration on both sides. However, this overwhelm is also a sign that you're moving closer to your true self. It's a sign that you're shedding old patterns and integrating new ones. The key is to be gentle with yourself during this process. Allow yourself the time and space to rest and recover. This might mean saying no to certain activities or spending more time in nature, where you can reconnect with the earth and ground your energy. 7. Loss of identity. One of the most profound and unsettling experiences during a spiritual awakening is the loss of identity. As you peel away the layers of who you thought you were, you might feel as though you're losing yourself entirely. The roles, labels, and titles that once defined you, friend, partner, professional, start to feel empty or irrelevant. This can leave you in a state of limbo, unsure of who you are or where you're going. In Zen Buddhism, the concept of no self, anatta, teaches that the self is an illusion, a collection of thoughts, experiences, and perceptions that are ever-changing. As you awaken, you begin to see through this illusion, realizing that your true essence is beyond any identity. But this realization can be terrifying. Without the familiar anchors of identity, you might feel lost, as though you're drifting in a sea of uncertainty. This loss of identity is often accompanied by a sense of grief, as you mourn the person you used to be. You may find yourself yearning for the comfort of your old life, even as you recognize that you've outgrown it. Friends and family might not understand what you're going through, which can deepen your sense of isolation. But it's important to remember that this is a natural part of the awakening process. The old self must die to make way for the new. As you navigate this loss, it's crucial to be patient with yourself. Allow yourself to mourn the old you, but also be open to the new possibilities that are emerging. Over time, you'll discover that your true self is not defined by any label or role. It's a deep, unchanging essence that is always present, even as the surface of your life changes. Emotional turbulence. Spiritual awakening is often accompanied by intense emotional upheaval. As you begin to confront the deeper layers of your psyche, old wounds, traumas, and unresolved emotions may rise to the surface. This emotional turbulence can feel overwhelming, as if you're caught in a storm with no shelter in sight. In Zen, this process is known as the Great Doubt, a period of intense questioning and inner turmoil that often precedes a breakthrough. It's during this time that you may feel the most vulnerable, as you're forced to confront the parts of yourself that you've long ignored or suppressed. The emotions that arise can be powerful and unsettling. Fear, anger, sadness, and confusion, all rolled into one. This emotional turbulence can strain your relationships, as those around you may not understand why you're suddenly so emotional or distant. They may offer well-meaning advice or try to fix you, not realizing that what you're going through is a natural part of the awakening process. This can lead to frustration and further isolation, as you feel that no one truly understands what you're experiencing. However, it's important to recognize that this emotional storm is a necessary part of your growth. Just as a storm clears the air, allowing new life to flourish, this emotional upheaval is clearing away the old to make room for the new. It's a sign that you're breaking free from old patterns and moving closer to your true self. The key is to ride out the storm, allowing yourself to feel whatever comes up without judgment or resistance. In time, the storm will pass, leaving you with a deeper sense of peace and clarity. 9. Judgment. As you grow spiritually, you may find that others begin to judge you for the changes they see. They might not understand your new perspective, your shifting priorities, or your need for solitude. This judgment can come from those closest to you, family, friends, even colleagues, who may feel threatened by the changes they don't understand. In Zen, it's taught that judgment from others often reflects their own fears and insecurities. As you awaken, you may inadvertently challenge their worldview, which can trigger discomfort or even hostility. They might accuse you of being selfish, naive, or lost, projecting their own fears onto you. This judgment can be painful, especially when it comes from those you care about. The weight of others' expectations can feel heavy, pulling you back towards old ways of being that no longer serve you. You might feel tempted to conform, to downplay your spiritual growth in order to fit in, but doing so would mean betraying yourself, stalling your progress, and dimming your inner light. It's crucial to remember that the opinions of others do not define you. Your spiritual journey is yours alone, and it's not for others to judge or understand. As you continue on your path, you'll learn to let go of the need for approval, finding strength in your own convictions. This will allow you to stand firm in the face of judgment, knowing that you're on the right path, even if others can't see it. 10. Existential fear. With spiritual awakening often comes a deep existential fear, a fear of the unknown. As your understanding of the world expands, you may begin to question the very nature of existence. What is the meaning of life? What happens after death? These questions, which might have once seemed distant, now take on a new urgency. This existential fear can be paralyzing. It's as if the ground beneath your feet has been pulled away, leaving you to float in a void of uncertainty. The comforting stories you once told yourself about life and death no longer hold the same power, and this can leave you feeling vulnerable and afraid. In Zen Buddhism, this fear is seen as an important part of the awakening process. It's a sign that you're beginning to see beyond the illusions of the material world, opening yourself up to the deeper mysteries of existence. But this fear can also be overwhelming, making it difficult to move forward. The key to overcoming this fear lies in surrender. Zen teaches that true peace comes from accepting the unknown, from embracing the mystery of life rather than trying to control or understand it. This requires a deep trust in the universe, a belief that there is a purpose to your journey even if you can't see it. As you surrender to the unknown, you'll find that the fear begins to dissolve, replaced by a sense of awe and wonder at the vastness of existence. 11. The longing for home. Finally, one of the most subtle yet profound side effects of spiritual awakening is a deep longing for home. This isn't a physical home, but a spiritual one, a place of belonging that transcends the material world. You might feel a constant pull towards something greater, a sense that there's a place where you truly belong, even if you can't quite name it. This longing can be both beautiful and painful. On one hand, it's a sign that you're connected to something beyond the ordinary, a reminder that your soul is on a journey. On the other hand, it can create a sense of restlessness, a feeling that you're never quite settled, never quite at peace. In Zen, this longing is understood as a desire for enlightenment, for a return to your true nature. It's the soul's way of calling you back to yourself, urging you to continue on your path. But this longing can also make it difficult to fully engage with the present moment, as you're always looking towards something just out of reach. The challenge is to find balance, to honor this longing without letting it pull you away from the life you're living now. Zen teaches that the true home you seek is not a place, but a state of being, one that can be found within yourself. By cultivating mindfulness and staying present, you can begin to find peace in the here and now, knowing that you're always connected to something greater. Spiritual awakening is often portrayed as a journey towards the light, but as we've explored, it's also a journey through the darkness. The side effects of awakening can be challenging. Feelings of isolation, misunderstanding, sensitivity, disillusionment, rejection, overwhelm, loss of identity, emotional turbulence, judgment, existential fear, and a deep longing for something beyond. These challenges are not signs that you're on the wrong path. They're indications that you're evolving, shedding old layers to reveal your true self. In Zen Buddhism, it's understood that the path to enlightenment is not a straight line. It's a winding road filled with both light and shadow.